With us now is Democratic Congressman Dave Min from California. Congressman, your district is just south of the worst of these fires, but we know it's affecting your constituents. They're taking in refugees, their family members. They're worried about their own homes in case the blaze turns southward. How are your constituents doing, and do they have what they need?
Thank you very much, Chris, and thanks for having me on. And as you mentioned, my district in Orange County, across what they call the Orange Curtain from LA, is right now safe. But we faced these types of same risks in the past. We've seen a number of fires in Laguna Beach near Irvine in the last few years, and that's the unfortunate reality that California faces. But it's been really heartening to me to see the constituents that I represent respond to this catastrophe, not with division, but with generosity, trying to help those in need. And that's what we as Orange Countymen are about. It's what Americans are about. When we saw the hurricane and Hurricane Helene a few months back, when we've seen catastrophes in the past, we all unite. And right now, my constituents are uniting to try to help those in need right now in Los Angeles, just to the north of us.
That is true, but it is not necessarily typical. There has been no shortage of political exploitation going on here, including the back and forth between President-elect Donald Trump and your governor, Gavin Newsom. I am among those who is worried that this could be obscuring a more wholesome effort to figure out what went wrong and who's to blame. Experts have pointed to several factors, from urban sprawl, resistance to clearing vegetation around homes, and a water system that's not up to the task. Mayor Karen Bass has seemed at times overwhelmed by the moment. How much blame do you think belongs to the city of Los Angeles and the state of California for this situation?
Look, I don't know if there's blame to be given right now. We know, and I should just mention that I just finished out my first and final term in the California State Senate. For the last 2 years before entering Congress, I served as chair of the Natural Resources and Water Committee. We were very aware of the fire risks in Southern California and Northern California. And what has happened is that climate change has dried out our foliage, our flora, and coupled with these massive winds that NewsNation and many other outlets have covered in detail, these 50 to 100-mile-an-hour winds that happen every year around this time, a little ember can turn into a massive fire. It's very difficult for firefighters to respond to these. They don't know where the fire might go. They don't know where to deploy their resources. You can't deploy some of the aerial responses you've seen. And our water systems, frankly, are not designed to fight fires on this scale. And that's true whether it's California, of Colorado we saw recently where a similar thing happened, in Maui last year. So climate change has wreaked havoc on us. There may be blame to go around, but I'll just emphasize now is not the time to be pointing fingers. Right now is the time to be coming together. Our firefighters are out there, thousands of them, working 24 hours. They're tired, they're exhausted. They don't need finger pointing right now. They need help. The citizens of Los Angeles, those who've lost their homes, those who've been evacuated, need help. They need to be reassured right now from leaders at the local, state, and federal level. And it is just very disappointing to see a handful of people out there. And I'll emphasize it's a handful of people who are trying to exploit this catastrophe for their own political gain. We need to unite right now. And I'm here in Williamsburg at a new member orientation, talking to lots of Republicans, as well as my fellow Democrats. And I'll tell you, in that room behind me, we're not seeing the division that we're seeing play out in the media. So it is very unfortunate that there are those seeking to capitalize on this for their own political gain. That's not what America's about. We should be uniting and coming together in times of crisis, just as we have done in the past.
Okay, in December, though, Congress included disaster aid in the bill that's keeping the government open until mid-March. The costs here in California may exceed the need of the previous disaster aid package. And when underinsured Los Angelenos go looking to rebuild in one of the world's most expensive real estate markets, the price tag will go even higher. There is concern, despite what you say, which I'm sure is true, but there is concern among your Democratic colleagues that the new Republican majority in both houses is not going to go along with the kind of aid package that Californians think will be necessary. Is that a fair concern?
Look, we all have concerns. I think the time for those concerns will come up in the coming weeks and months. I'm hopeful that my colleagues across the aisle who do control Congress, they control the presidency, they control the Senate, I am hopeful that they will do the right thing that we've always done, whether it was after 9/11, Hurricane Katrina, Hurricane Helene, and any number of natural disasters or horrific attacks that we've experienced in this country. We've come together, we've supported the victims, we've supported our first responders. I think my Republican colleagues will do the right thing here.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.